Hi friends, I am Yashwant Kanetkar and I am here today to discuss one very interesting and important concept in Java programming, namely multithreading. Now multithreading is also somewhat related to multitasking and we should be able to understand the difference between the two very clearly. Multitasking means ability to execute more than one task at a time, where one task is nothing but a process. And against this, multithreading is the ability to execute multiple parts of the same program at the same time or simultaneously. So this one part of the program which is executing along with other parts of the program, that each one of these parts is known as a thread, where a thread is nothing but a separate execution path within the program. Best way to understand this would be through a couple of examples. So let me show you those examples. Suppose you are using Microsoft Paint. At the same time, you can start PowerPoint, you can start Excel, you can run Explorer. All these are what? These are different processes that are running in memory. Each is a separate task. So that's multitasking at work. Or you may have Notepad with multiple instances of it. Right? You open one file in Notepad, then you run one more copy of Notepad, open another file within Notepad. So that is also nothing but multitasking. So the coexistence of different programs in memory or coexistence of the same program multiple times in memory, both of them would qualify as multitasking. That's why I mentioned here that multiple instances of Paint program can run or multiple instances of Notepad can also run simultaneously in memory. When that happens, that's multitasking at work. Let's look at some examples of multithreading as well. In Word, when you are typing, suppose you are deciding to type maybe a page full of maybe 7 or 8 paragraphs. Now it's not that you type out 8 paragraphs and then you figure out whether there is a spelling mistake or not. Spelling mistake is pointed out to you right where you actually type. For example, here I have committed a mistake in typing out the spelling of immortal. One M is missing here. But that's immediately marked out for me using a red colored underline. Or if grammar goes wrong, it's immediately pointed out to you through maybe a green colored underline. Point is that this happens on the fly. It's not that you type out everything and then you check the grammar, or you type out everything then check the spellings. As you are typing, the spellings are being checked. As you are typing, the grammar is being checked. When you run an antiviral program, it is going through a variety of files to figure out whether they have been infected by virus or not. I am sure you have done this scanning. But it's not that you complete the scanning once you initiate it. You can always pause it or you can always stop it. The stop button is always available for you for selection. So in the background, the checking may happen. In the foreground, the other user interface you can work with. You can pause it, you can stop it, you can schedule it. All those possibilities exist. And when that happens, what you are doing? Within the same program, you are running multiple units of execution or multiple threads, so to say. If I am to give you a couple of more examples, then when you are scrolling a web page, if there is any graphics or any music or any video within that page, you don't have to wait for that to get downloaded before you can scroll through the page. The downloading can happen in a separate thread, whereas scrolling can happen in a separate thread. So multiple units of execution means browsers that you make use of are basically multi-threaded programs. You can appreciate that. Or when you are printing out, let's say, one Word document, it's not that you give a 100-page document for printing and you have to wait till 100 page gets printed to work with the rest of the Word software. Yes or no? You can continue typing one document, another document you can send for printing. That's multiple units of execution at work. Means basically multi-threading at work. Lastly, when you are replying to an email, mails that are incoming in your inbox, they can continue to get downloaded. So downloading thread is different. Typing thread where you are sending a mail, that's a different thread. Point I am trying to make is that if you look around, most of the professional level programs which are popular, they are basically multi-threaded programs. So multi-threading is really very, very important. Its advantages being that it improves the application's responsiveness. I gave you the example that you don't have to wait for a 100-page document to get printed before you can start creating a new one. Both can happen simultaneously. So responsiveness of the application is bound to improve as a result. Secondly, it gives you a feeling that multiple activities are going on simultaneously. Printing is also happening, typing is also happening. But in reality, it is just dividing the time slot between the two. For some time this goes, for some time this goes, for some time this goes, for some time this goes. This keeps on shuttling from, or CPU's attention keeps on shuttling from one thread to another. This happens so fast that you get a feeling that simultaneously both things are happening. Not so. But that has also been overcome with the advent of quad-core or 8-core or 16-core processors, where you can actually do things in parallel. For example, if you are doing addition of two matrices, A00 and B00, its addition has got nothing to do with A01 and B01's addition. Both can be launched in separate processors. Yes or no? So multiprocessor can really encourage you to do parallel programming. So that's something which is very, very important. Within the same program, you can do multiple units simultaneously. And lastly, it simplifies program organization. Just imagine you have a file copy program, your file explorer. In one thread, copying happens. In another thread, the animation is being played. The green progress bar moves forward as the copying proceeds. So both are happening simultaneously. It simplifies program organization from the point of view of where you put the logic for copying and where you put the logic for progressing the green colored progress bar. If they get cluttered into one another, it's difficult to organize the program. Because here I am talking only about 2 threads. There might be 10 threads. If their logic starts getting mixed up, it becomes really a nightmare. So multi-threading facility in Java lets you put these units at separate places and manage them. So programs organization definitely becomes simpler if you happen to launch multiple threads within your program. So several advantages. As we go along and write programs on multi-threading, I am sure you would be able to appreciate them better. Till that time, goodbye and good luck.